Born in the heart of Wisconsin, where tradition runs deep and good stories start around a tailgate. Join your host, Erik Tasker, and former Major League pitcher Paul Wagner as they dive into hunting, fishing, conservation, and the great outdoors, and share the stories that come with it. Because out here, it's more than a pastime, it's a way of life. Everything outdoors, and the stories that make good memories. This is Tailgate Talk.
Okay, so we're riding a little solo this week because Paul Wagner decided I'm not going to shovel. I'm not going to deal with the snowstorm, the ice storm. I'm going to just go to the Dominican for a week. So it's just me, but I do have a guest this week. And as the music fades out here, so it's the holidays. I think this is our second episode now since I said we're not going to do another episode this year. And we're just filling time. But before we get to our guest today, I just want to give a quick shout out to Charisma Customs. Especially with all the snow and everything that has happened in the last week, it's really nice to just take my leaf blower out and blow my truck off because I don't have to worry about like scraping it off and doing all of that stuff because of the ceramic coating that I have on my truck. And then because it has a paint protection film on it, I don't really have to worry because I just use a big broom, like a house broom, which is probably not good, but I don't have to worry about it too much. So if you did get something gas powered or diesel powered for Christmas, now's the time to go in and get that protected, protect your investment with a ceramic coating, or maybe it's a remote start, or you don't like the stereo that's in there. There's a lot of options, but anything auto aftermarket that you need done for your vehicle, Charisma Customs in Delafield is the spot to go. So, with us being in between the holidays here, we're going to record this on New Year's Eve. We spend a lot of time with family this time of year. And after we're coming off of, deer camp and duck camp and all of those things, it's only fitting that we do a special holiday edition with family. So the long-awaited guests, I think the person who's asked me the most about, hey, when can we come on? And hey, what do you think of this? And yada, yada, whatever. So my brother, Tim, and my two nephews, who are the biggest waterfowl fanatics that I know, are trying to slowly convince me that this is the path of life, which, we have a spirited debate over.
I feel after we came over and visited Sherry, this weekend before we left town, and she even noted, like, what's with this guy? He's always off talking about chasing geese and hunting ducks and how it's not really always all about deer anymore. So I feel like it's coming.
I don't think she's happy about that.
Yeah, well,
now it's just another weekend or 2 weekends.
This is a little longer.
I know. So, it's really hard because when you have ducks and geese that are like in the Midwest flyway of my backyard and they're everywhere. I mean, I could send 50 videos a day of flocks of geese flying overhead, which just makes it so fun, and I don't know if I sent you guys that picture yesterday of all the, I think I sent that to Amesley because he was out at the field that you guys were scouting for this week that had like 1,000 birds in it. And I was like, well, I mean, I could go shoot one with the bow right now.
Yeah.
So, but it just makes it fun, I mean, I don't know. We've all gone down this path that how many years have we just had such a frustrating kind of like deer season that, I mean, this year was unusual because we did actually see a lot of deer. It's a very different, my perspective is that it's a very, very different kind of hunting because you're going for quantity. And there's like the prestige of shooting bands, but deer hunting is quality. Like you want to just shoot a buck like that. You just want to shoot one animal as opposed to, hey, there's 5 guys going out. We're going to shoot a limit today. It's very, very different. I don't know if you guys want to chime in on that before
I feel like
let
it's
you guys
one of those
open
things,
it up and introduce yourselves and all that.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm Eric's brother, Tim. We live in Southwest Wisconsin, right on the Mississippi River. Literally 300 yards from here is the river. So we are literally in the middle of the flyway, right off the river. Both of my sons are here to my right and left. And we have been doing it since we've been throwing this guy in the back of the jet sled through a channel that was 4 feet deep because it was over his head and he's straddling it like a little caboose, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've been doing it for a long time, but going to the deer versus duck and goose hunting and the differences, I feel like I feel a guy who I used to hunt with in previous days, he said the biggest difference is that it's absolutely heartbreaking when you miss that buck because the reward is so much greater, which in turn makes the result that much heartbreaking when it doesn't happen. But on a daily basis, I assure you, we're missing ducks left and right. And we go, well, it's all right. Yeah, that sucks. Damn, we should have shot more of those. But
Right.
yo, get down. There's more coming. You know, so I mean, there's always that. We always know we're going to get into more. And I feel like when you miss that buck, I feel like there's always that second chance, you know, that redemption song, the second, third, whatever chance it is, you know. So sometimes it does come back to you and you're able to capture it, but sometimes it doesn't happen that way,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. Well, I
So
mean, I saw that firsthand this year with Amesley just walking out there, just blasting away, just missing geese at, I don't know,
yeah,
25
it
feet or
happens, you
whatever.
know.
And
What
he's
he's
like, oh,
like,
don't worry
man,
about it. There's more that are
that
coming
was
in.
really terrible, but
Yeah.
hey, it's gonna happen again.
It happens.
We all know.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so boys, why don't you introduce yourself? Why don't we do this? Why don't the boys introduce themselves and say how long you've been hunting for? And are you ducks or are you geese or are you what we all really know, a whitetail?
Definitely not the last choice.
Okay. All right. I figured I would at least leave it as an option though.
go ahead, Danny.
I'm Addison, and I definitely like shooting ducks, but I think I'd rather shoot geese in a cornfield than anything.
Okay. And how long have
Uh,
you been hunting now?
67 years. My whole life,
Okay. So
since
3
I could
years.
walk,
Perfect.
probably.
Okay, so you're 19, so you've probably been hunting for I don't know
15
what,
years.
12, 14 years, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably around that.
Okay. Amesley?
I'm Amesley, and I'd also rather shoot geese.
What have you been
Okay.
hunting?
How long have
I've
you been
probably
hunting?
been hunting for 10 or 11 years.
10 or 11 years. Okay, so as long as your brother, because he's a late bloomer. Yeah, okay. Okay, so you kind of mentioned this, that you are 300 yards from quite possibly the best waterfowl hunting in the country. So it's no surprise then that when you say, you know, I'd rather shoot waterfowl, I'd shoot ducks or geese or whatever over anything else, because I mean, it'd be hard not to, just quite honestly, because you're just right there. So you have access to it and it just makes it so easy. And when you see them flying over all the time, you're thinking, well, I mean, I'd rather just be sitting in a cornfield right now, or I'd be sitting on the riverbank. So is that really what like spurred your excitement for waterfowl hunting, or was it like something else? Was it more based on location, like, hey, we have access to this and we're really in prime real estate here? Or was there something else that kind of got you started in like the craziness of what is waterfowl hunting?
No, I mean, to be honest with you, the first time I ever remember when I was little goose hunting or duck hunting, I remember going once with dad and uncle out by uncle. I didn't have gloves. It was like 15 degrees. I didn't have the right bullets. It was an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
The time before that, I can remember dad and uncle coming home from Horicon Marsh with a whole tailgate full of honkers. And the only reason I remember that is because in typical uncle fashion, I remember getting shoved into the garbage can, sandwiched taco, like, so that I wasn't able to get out with all the dead birds after they had cleaned them all. So I
Sure.
vividly remember that as not a great thing, but I always remember that very first time of being around that post hunt fun. Not necessarily, oh, dad brought home a deer this year, or hey, when dad gets home, we're going to have to help him hoist this deer up. But I mean, traditionally, we both know that waterfowling wasn't really in our forte because we didn't have anybody that regularly waterfowl hunted. And we all know that when hunting something specific or as broad as it is, I feel like it's extremely expensive to start something like that. Even to go from waterfowl hunting in the river versus waterfowl hunting in the field, it's a totally different setup. So
Yeah.
where that started, I'm not exactly sure, but I mean, I can remember watching. Shout out to one of the greatest dudes I know. And the kids have a great story. Tony Vandemore at Habitat Flats. I can remember seeing this guy's videos and watching it and just absolutely, seeing how crazy and insane it could get. And
Yeah.
there's only been, I think, one occasion when we've actually made that happen. And I believe it was a Thanksgiving when it was just birds after birds after birds. And everybody just kind of knows, like, this is something magical. Let's let this happen and just watch. So I don't know exactly when it really went crazy. But I just remember one Christmas, all I wanted was duck hunting stuff.
Yeah.
Decoys and bags and a call and shotgun shells. And I ultimately had no idea except for my father-in-law, kind of saying, hey, like you can go down in here, you can go down in there. So for me, that's what it was. But for these dudes, it was just all in sequence.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
they would
I mean,
agree
and
with that. But
if you do get a big flock that comes in, I know one person's for sure not waiting, and that's Ainsley because he just shoots from wherever. So
Most of the time,
I
you don't
he'll
hit
throw.
them.
I don't know. I hear that click coming from long ways away.
Hey, bro, I'd rather be prepared than not prepared because I'm not gonna
click, click.
pull
I'm hearing
a
it.
blank and shoot a blank. So I just
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
think that's like my biggest fear because I'm like, oh my god, what if they just like show up and I'm not ready? Like, all
Hey,
right, well,
everybody has their rhyme and reason and their rhythm to it. And we went through this with everybody hunting new out of layout blinds. It is something to tackle and manage. And obviously, the newer the blinds, the easier they are. They're more user friendly. There's more stuff that doesn't go wrong when opening and
sure,
closing the doors. There's just so many things. So,
right.
uh, yeah, you know,
So, so that spot on the riverbank that we sat those 2 mornings. So, how far do you think that is across? I mean, what is that like 400 yards, 500 yards
yeah,
across, maybe 600 yards across to the other side
yeah,
where
probably.
where those woods are?
Yeah, 400 yards, probably 500 yards. But that ultimately is only the backwater. That's not actually the main channel.
The
So that might
right on
only
the
be
river.
a couple hundred yards wide, whereas that main channel might be 400 or 500 yards wide. But when you
Yeah,
get closer to town, directly in town there, that's where it's most narrow. And there's only one individual I know who haphazardly swam across it and back. Uh, and of course, okay. So before I go any farther, I'm not going to tell you who it is. I will tell you that they did it in the afternoon, like on a Wednesday morning. They had a boat that followed them across and that followed them back, so that if somebody was coming, they would have been present. So yeah, there were precautions taken, but he did it when he was like 20 or 25 years old. Swam across the river and swam back in summer.
so the reason that I asked that about the like 400 yards or like what the distance was, so you were kind of like addressing it or whatever, but so me being the amateur hour that I am, I'm like, all right, well, I mean, if we see birds, I probably am taking the safety off. So I don't know if they even crossed over to the body of water or not. And it was like clockwork that I would punch the safety off and I would just be ready because if they're flying
Yeah.
my direction, I'm going to be ready. And the boys just would not let me hear the end of it. because they're like, why are you taking it off so early? Why are you? And I'm like, bro, just worry about shooting your own birds over
Easy
there.
there, guy. Easy. Yep.
Yeah. So that's why the whole like safety click thing is like kind of I feel like that's going to be like a forever infamous thing for me now.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I feel like it'll always be brought up. You know, we have our famous stories. Like, actually, believe it or not, this year nobody fell in. There's always one person, and I just tell everybody like it's bound to happen. You just hope to hell
Yeah.
it happens earlier than later, because if it happens
Yeah.
later, it's going to be cold. You
Yeah.
just suck it up, you fall down, you plant your hand, and you hope your waders don't fill up. You know, it happens to all of us. This guy sunk his gun the first day we had him. First day he had it, he tripped on a log or something, fell over. I see him going like this, and water's just running out of the barrel. Yeah, I mean, it is what it
Oh my
is, but
God.
that's
And you
why.
put one in there and it fires. So
Yeah,
everything's all
you
good.
know, I mean, and that's one thing why I tell people like there's a reason why things are expensive, and there's technologies that are unseen that are very helpful in our line of work or duty or play, however you want to call it. You know, and those are the things that ultimately make a difference or potentially could make a difference, you know?
Yeah. Well, and when I went out the first time this year, and I went out with a couple buddies that have just been riding me just like you guys have been to get out and do bird hunting. When we went out early season, because we did early teal and early goose just very close by us here. And, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to just take dad's shotgun. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, it's not the end of the world. And then I'm like, I don't know if I got the right loads for it or whatever. So my buddy had a second shotgun that was actually like a waterfowl shotgun, so it's not like a wood grain stock, and it's not like the like polished barrel and all that stuff, which thank God that he did let me use his secondary shotgun. It was like a pump action, whatever. But when we get out there, all they kept saying was, well, this is going to be a death march. It's a death march. It's awful. It sucks. It takes forever to get there because we're walking through 8-foot tall cattails, and you never know. It could be up to your knee or it could be up to your waist. And I'm like, I mean, this is exactly why I don't want to do it, because this does not sound fun. So we actually end up moving to a different spot where we just had to wade through like basically waist deep water. And I'm like, I would never want to take a wood stock shotgun out there, and that it would just be a nightmare. I mean, you would just be constantly cleaning it,
Yo, for real, like I feel like, yeah, and that's a whole nother thing. Like, you think it's crazy that gun companies come out with all different, the one shotgun, like one car with 100 different varieties of that vehicle, different trim packages. Right. And it's like, well, if you're shooting clays, this is what you should use. Like, there's form and function to it, like, and with the waterfowl guns, between the weather protection, the internals of it, like it all makes a difference,
Right.
I feel like for me, it's one of those things. I wouldn't have a wood stock polished shotgun, because I know my gun, if we're in a boat and that boat doesn't start, I can certifiably tell you my shotgun is going to be used as a paddle. I've done that before. It happens, and there's a lot of people that have said that, and I don't say that to to get the views and all this shenanigans. Like, it's for real. But that's why we buy the shotguns we do, because we know that even filled with water and froze up, as soon as you finish that action, it's going to be ready to rock and roll. So.
And that's all part of, like, I mean, you just think about like how far everything has come. And of course, there's always different reasons to buy different accessories, or gun companies are going to come out with new stuff every year. But yeah, I mean, let me tell you, I mean, we were talking about Charisma Customs and like ceramic coating. I mean, in the day and age of Cerakoting, I mean, it's just unbelievable what kind of protection that adds, and like the heat resistance and just like the added durability to that. I mean, if you can get a Cerakote shotgun, I mean, it's truly like the top end. You know, I mean, it's just like, and not the top end in like quality of a shotgun, just top end quality of protection. Because you figure if you're in the elements, or like say you do go backwards while you're walking into the marsh because your feet get stuck in the swamp, I mean, you'd rather just know, like, hey, I mean, I can shake this thing out and I can load it and we'll be firing again. But it also comes with the cost. But that's part of the cool thing of just like how things have evolved over the last, couple of years.
Yeah, and I think really with that coating, I think the first company that did it was like probably 2000, and I don't know this for sure, but I think the first company that actually had that ceramic coating on the outside was Remington with like an
Okay.
entry level like $400 pump shotgun. It looked like a RoboCop shotgun because it was so much bigger than it traditionally would have been because of that coating. But yo, they swore by it, and now another company has come out with it. It's called the Best. I don't know the actual terminology for what that acronym stands for, but it's a type of coating that they spray the guns with, and every one of them has it. It's like a $600 or $800 upgrade to the gun itself, but
See.
it's worth it. You know,
Oh,
you'd
here you
hate
go.
to buy a really good shotgun and you take it out for something and they say that it's good for all elements. You leave it in the case, you totally forget about it. You're hanging out with your buddies, cleaning birds, the party starts. You go out in the
Yeah.
morning and you realize your gun is absolutely trashed after only using it half
Right.
a season. Well, now you have to buy a brand new barrel at $700 or $800, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, it's funny. You look up the best coating shotgun, and it's like, okay, well, that's not actually what I was searching for. But so what it is Benelli came out with a proprietary like surface treatment, essentially, is what it is. So it's BE.S.T. So it's BEST. So Benelli surface treatment. So it's a nanotechnology armor, outperforming others, backed by a 25-year warranty as opposed to Cerakote, which is a ceramic polymer. Excellent corrosion, scratch, heat resistant, and versatile. It's nice for use for heavy holstering. I'm not even really sure. There's a different thing called parkerizing, which is a phosphate coating. Um, it's a self lubricating, and then there's like a nickel boron, which is a low friction, heat dispersing,
Okay.
like properties for internal parts.
Yeah,
So,
so I'm only familiar with the
um,
first one or two there, but I mean, yeah, the technology and it's amazing to think what all these different technologies now have gotten into and have like just kind of leached into all these different wide applications, which is amazing because all of this is all relative with everything else. Technology for you especially with drones and that type of thing,
right.
it's crazy how what you can use and how you can use it and what actually can happen.
Speaking of drones, how fast do you think it would take for the game wardens to show up if I strapped a goose, like a hollow goose decoy to my drone and just started flying it around the swamp next year? Pretty
I
fast,
wouldn't
or
do that.
I probably wouldn't
I
do that.
promise you, I will shoot it before they do.
It definitely would be shot out of the sky before any DNR agent showed up and on the
Oh
lanyard.
man,
Just strap that baby up, put her on.
yeah.
We always
It's
got a
so
spot for
funny
one of
how
those
like
trophies,
just
definitely.
yeah, the redneck ingenuity of just doing that, which is so
Yeah.
funny because like you watch those videos and then it's just it doesn't fly right because the balance
No,
of the
there's
drone
no
is
way it
off. So
flies
like
right.
it's so out of whack. But
Yeah.
um yeah, that's so funny. Okay, so why don't we do this? Since this is like a family like reunion, not a reunion, but like a family show. So what let me ask you this. So what do you guys think is like different? Like what's the different about hunting with your family when it's just like you three versus like going out and hunting with your buddies? Like, do you think, like, I know the boys do that quite a bit just because they've got so many buddies that are right there in town that are into it and that will go out and just different like properties and all that stuff. But like what do you guys think? Like, do you prefer one over the other? Do you prefer a combination of like, just the three of you guys going out, or would you rather go out with your buddies and leave dad behind?
I'll let you guys answer it and then I'll answer it because I feel like it potentially will be the same, but I feel like it might be a little different. We have our unsaid things that we all agree on,
Yeah.
but yeah.
All right, Addison, what do you think? Hunting with your buddies or hunting with your dad and your brother?
I feel like when I hunt with my dad and my brother, we actually try. And I feel like if I go out with my buddies, we're mostly just messing around.
Yeah. Okay.
20 minutes in.
Ainsley?
I mean, I don't really care because either someone's getting trash talked the whole time anyway, so it doesn't
Okay.
matter.
And the turtle box shows up, and then we're just vibing in the reeds in the creek beds.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
Tim.
Yeah, I feel like I would agree. Like our rule is I don't typically go out and hunt without them. We
Okay.
rarely go out. Occasionally, me and Ainsley will go out,
Sure.
but it'll never just be me and Diney. It's always usually the three of us.
Yeah.
I will rarely scout alone. We'll always usually at some point meet up or break up and go separate directions.
Sure.
But I always told them that they can always hunt with their friends as the first option against me. But if that's the case, I always get first pick on hunting spots. And then you can take whatever's left. If you decide you're going to go hunting with your buddies, that's fine. But I'm
You're
going
not going to my
here,
spot
and
that I'm
then
going.
you guys can go wherever you want. But I don't feel like that would ever happen. Like I feel like hunting with just us and hunting with friends, it's always us. It's just that addition of the friends. Plus, we all know like this year, the pile pick's way sweeter with a lot of dudes than it is with just three.
Right.
It's very satisfying to have a big stack, with just a 3-person limit. It didn't happen this year with ducks, but last year we had a 3-person limit by 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Before school started, we were already back to house.
Wow.
Birds on the tailgate ready to roll. But a pile pick in the cornfield with like 25 or 30 birds, that's pretty satisfying at the end of the day, knowing that we absolutely accomplished with minimal error. Not like, we had 3 groups come in and we absolutely crushed almost all of them. And we could have been cleaned up an hour ago had we shot the first 3 groups better.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it just makes it more fun because it's like, I mean, yeah, and it's very different just purely in the sense of like, I mean, I don't know how many times I've like gone and I've hunted with buddies, which for me, like, I mean, you guys know this. Like this year was the first year that I shot a deer without dad there, and it was just like really kind of, I mean, it was a fiasco nonetheless, but it was just like the first time that I ever had to gut a deer, which is like so strange because like all by myself, like I always help dad clean deer, but I mean, I was just like, okay, well, and then Wags is like, I was out at Wags' place, and he's like, all right, well, just grab the ATV, throw her up on the ATV, and just like bring her back. And we've got the meat pole back there. There's lights, and there's this, and there's that, and whatever. Well, I mean, yeah, it all sounds good, but then when I can't even lift the deer up onto the back of the ATV by myself because it's so heavy, and then I'm driving back for that, and then the lights don't work over there because like it was like not connected or like the outlet was tripped, so I'm like just using like a flashlight. It's just like such a mess out there.
Yeah.
And
So
I mean,
yeah,
you
we
just have different stories every time.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, we with the group that we've acquired late last year, mid last year, into this year, reunited with everybody. We've talked about this. We've really learned this year that homework is huge.
Right.
Doing less blind hunting, and by blind hunting I mean, well, there's water there and it's in the backwaters. Let's take a dozen decoys in the mojo and see what happens. We haven't been out there in a week. We don't know what the water's like. We don't know what the vegetation's like, but we're just going to wing it and see what happens. There was a lot less of that this year. There was more certified scouting in pinpointed locations with multiple vehicles going different directions. We went a different way this year with scouting. Instead of scouting south of town, because a lot of that land was already acquired by individuals in our group. So
Okay.
why compete against each other? We decided to start going north of town and picking up a lot of fields there. We had 5 weeks in a row. I think that we were limited or almost limited out with 6 to 8 guys every Sunday, 5 Sundays in a row.
Yeah.
And one of those was the infamous bands, the band hunt. You know, we had 8 guys. We shot 7 bands out of one group. I have the pictures from it. I can, send you those, and you can add those into the mix. It's just capturing those moments of unexpected happiness and sheer success.
Right.
That, like, I sent it to Tyson, and I'm like, yo, you have to frame this. Like, for real,
Right.
this is just one of the
Such
most
a cool
genuine,
picture,
happy
yeah.
pictures, So
Yeah. Which is kind of shocking because, with the 2 knuckleheads besides you, I'm just like surprised that you guys would hit all those birds.
yeah, last year we had a lot of sus moments with shooting, but this year I feel like we've either really had it together, because like I said, like, we've absolutely just crushed groups. 9 birds come in and 8 of them are down.
Yeah.
Like, send out more dudes to go get birds because they only can carry 3 or 4 apiece.
Right.
So that's the benefit of hunting in big groups like that. The only thing with, the disadvantage of hunting in big groups like that, or the thing that, makes it a little harder, is the fact that hide needs to be all that much better.
Sure.
3 guys is a lot easier to hide than 6 or 8 guys.
Layouts out there,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, so.
So is Addison basically the designated fetcher when you guys are out there in the field?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's already at my side. Otherwise, I just whistle and he usually comes right here. So,
okay.
But no, he's pretty good with it, though. Yeah, he's pretty good with it. He'll chase them down. We've chased a few down from long distance, but he's usually the first one out and the first one on it, But then after that, if other people got to go, they usually go. The old guys and the dads of the group kind of just hang back and are being aware of the situation. If the dog's out and working, Brian's taking care of her. So shout out to that pooch. Shout out to all hunting dogs. These dogs, there's a reason why there's man's best friend, but then also, like, the exponential value of having them at your side through those situations makes things a lot easier,
Yeah.
And I guess, with that being said, well-behaved dogs and well-trained dogs. Not in any way insinuating that any of the dogs I've mentioned are not. It's just that it happens, So, yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, and and I had a chance. I feel like this year has just been such a big year for me, just in terms of like firsts, because like I never went pheasant hunting before. And like I always joke, do you remember like probably 15 years ago, we were out by you guys and we went out to one of the farms and we like shot clays? Do you remember that?
Yep.
And I shot the very first one that got thrown in the air and was like, well, I'm good.
That's it. I'm done. Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of a recurring theme for me, because
I feel like
I went 1 for 1 on clays. And remember when we played Black Wolf Run, I bought that putter the morning of and I made like my first putt and was like, well, I guess we're playing golf today.
That's it. Well, I guess it's what we're using.
Yeah. Yeah, but and it's just so cool just to see him work, and it's like, I look at Hattie and like how much excitement and energy she has. There's so clearly a reason that these dogs do what they do. There's like a big drive to please, but there's also just like, they've got a nose on them that they're able to find that stuff. And here we're just a couple weeks away from getting out and doing some shed hunting again with her. And like, it'll be so good just for her to get out and just like run first and foremost.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just to be out there and just to like use her nose and do what she's supposed to do. And it's like, I honestly, when we went pheasant hunting and we went to Milford Hills, I thought that was the highlight of the day, was just watching the dogs work.
Yeah.
And these dogs, they're so well conditioned. They're used to doing 5 miles a day, so for them to go run a 40-acre field is nothing. And they're just constantly moving and moving and moving. So it's really cool to see that. I look at Hattie and I'm like, I don't know how in the world she would ever sit still in a layout blind or like in a dog blind for more than 7 seconds, but
yeah,
hopefully.
And if she doesn't like being in a crate, then that's game over, because that not only is a crate, but it's a really small crate with a black cover
Right.
on it that's dark. So if she doesn't
Right.
like that, that's game over. Like that's a
Yeah.
huge thing.
Oh,
That's
guess we're
a
getting another
major
dog.
hurdle. Yeah, right. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like for us, people say, "Oh, you guys are such big duck hunters. I'm really surprised you don't have a dog." And I always joke that we have him and we have him and me if it need be. But
Right.
honestly, the only time that I feel like, dang, I really wish we had a dog is when you're talking about these 5-foot cattails and
Mm-hmm.
that bird gets shot 20 yards away, but it's so thick that by the time you get over there, unless you see feathers or you see
Right.
that bird splashing around, chances are that bird has gone under, and that's where I feel like that would be most beneficial.
Right.
So
Yeah. So would you say that just to like wrap back or circle back to that comment about just like spending so much time out scouting this year, would you say that that's like your biggest lesson that you've learned in this year or like in your hunting ever, that just doing that? Because you hear like, I mean, so many times people are like, oh, hunt hard but scout harder. I mean, yeah, you can go out and you can sit in a layout blind, but if there's nothing coming, there's nothing coming,
it
So, like,
literally,
is there anything else that kind of stands out for you besides that for this year that is like, oh, yeah, I wish we would have been doing this 10 years ago?
that exactly. That
Yeah.
exactly. I feel
Yeah.
like it's one of those things like knowing. It's just like having a buck on your trail cam every day at the exact same time, except I don't have a trail camera in 100 fields watching to say, oh,
Right.
there they are. Like
Yeah.
I have to actually go out there and do it, go out there and find them. And I'm not saying in any way that it's cheating. It's not, it's unfair. Like, well, this is
Hmm.
BS. We got to drive out there, because I just saw a video a few weeks ago of a hunt club in the South, and they have a honey hole that they know that these birds always start at the blah blah blah, the east edge of that pond. So they put a trail cam out there, and the first day those birds hit it, they're
They
in there
know.
the next day. Here's
Yep.
the thing to think about. If you know that there's gold in a certain location in your first searching, why wouldn't you go there and mine that gold? It's the same thing with goose hunting and duck hunting. If you
Yeah.
know that there's birds using one specific area and they've been there for 3 days, not necessarily every morning and every afternoon, but every afternoon for 3 days straight, because whether it's 6 or 12 or 150 or 500 of them,
Yeah.
you already know they want in there. So as long as you don't go in there and look like a clown, blow them out of there, educate them way more than they need to be, shoot
Right.
two that are coming in first when there's 15 behind it. Like irresponsible choices are only going to sour that situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Finding the birds is 90% of it, 80% of it. 10% is the hide, and the other 10 is not blowing them out of there and then
Right.
actually shooting them.
Yeah. Which I
You
still got
know,
beef with you guys about that hunt that we did in those layout blinds, because I had ducks that I thought were about to land in my pants, and I'm still not sure why we were not shooting them.
well,
I don't
Not
really
on
know
that
what
hunt.
happened there, but somebody
I don't
blew
know
the
what to
call.
tell you. I'm really sorry. I don't know. It's one of those things we all. I already know you had the safety off when they
Well,
were a
Addison
mile
couldn't see
out.
him
I was
because they
waiting
were
for
on
you.
the side of my blind, and he was on the other side of our four-man. So I'm putting it
Next
on you or
time,
Tyson
next
that should
time
have
it'll
said
just be,
something.
well, we probably were dancing and listening to music. Usually that's when the
That
ducks
could have
show
been
up.
that could have
Hey,
also been the
that could
case.
be. So I mean that's that. That's always something that I feel like I am like, no, 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 like give them one more time, and then they leave, and I'm like,
Should have shot him.
we should have shot him. Like, dang, they were way
It's
closer than I thought.
that seems like such a big recurring theme though, of like what I hear or like what I see. Like all of the memes with like waterfowl hunting is, oh, we should have gave him another, like spin around or whatever.
Yeah, one more
They'll
pass
circle
around.
back. They'll circle back. Whatever. So
Yeah, so yeah, I mean that is that's one of those things like, dang, we should have shot them, or we should have
Right.
shot those when I was hoping they were going to come back. Like, well, it is what it is. That's one of those things.
Yeah.
You don't know. You just hope for the best. You kind of have to see, like, is everybody kind of you can, if you watch them, I know it's hard and it's weird that I talk, but you can see as they're coming in. We got one dude up front just surveying the whole situation, and if he busts out of there, those birds are hot on his tail with him, like that's not
Right.
especially, and the thing is too, is with that wind blowing, you get that wind blowing harder and harder and harder. That getaway is going to be exponentially faster getting out of there.
Yeah.
It's just
sure.
1.5 turn and they're riding that wind out of there. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to just tee you guys up and say, what was your favorite hunt of this year? But I think we already know what that was, the 7 bands day.
Yeah, I would say that, the 7 bands was pretty legit, but I feel like just knowing that every time we go out there is hopefully going to be an absolute banger.
Yeah.
Like, is solidified by doing the homework. I mean, the 7 bands was legit, but I mean, having a video guy in the hunt was kind of cool too, Too bad it couldn't have been more magical, but I mean, we always got many days ahead, Maybe next year you'll just shoot a buck early and then we'll just duck hunt the rest of the year. Like, if you could work on that a little more.
Hey, man, I'm happy to shoot a buck whenever.
It's
funny. I was telling Wags about this. So I met with a client a couple weeks ago, just about a video project, and it's a distillery that's in the state of Wisconsin, and his the family has 500 acres of family farm that's where they're 97% seed to spirit. And his thing was, I love waterfowl hunting and I love chasing turkeys so much that, like, I do so much homework when it comes to shooting whitetails that 3 of the last 4 years I've killed my target buck on opening morning. And the 1 year that I didn't, I shot it on the second day because, like, they're just so much in their summer patterns. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool, but I kind of like just sitting, it's like, and it's all part of it. But yeah, I mean, you get a buck and then you could chase, waterfowl or do whatever you want. But, I mean, because you think about it, you guys are big anglers. The boys are big anglers that, like, I mean, you talk about people who are interested in muskie fishing. I mean, October couldn't be a worse month for them because you're like peeking into the rut there. You've got waterfowl that's crazy. And you've got the fall muskie bite that it's like, how do you even divvy up your time to do anything besides that? It's just so hard. It's like we're so lucky in the state of Wisconsin, especially for you guys down there, that, like, we're so lucky with our natural resources that we have that we're able to go out and we're able to do. I mean, really, it's like 10 weeks of just like money hunting or fishing or whatever you want to do that.
Yep.
I mean, you never really run out of time to do anything. So, okay, boys, what's your outlook for next year? I mean, I think you guys are going tomorrow. Is that what it is? Yep. You guys going hunting tomorrow? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to start off the year with a bang. We're going to shoot a 10-man limit right off the bat on day 1 of the year.
Yeah, well, I
mean, 8-man limit.
8-man limit. It's so we have a field that we've been watching. We know that it's hit late in the year. Last year we hunted it that first week of January. Right after the first, when it got really, really cold, it was like 15 below at night, and the warmest it was getting was like 3 below in the afternoons. And that was the hunt when this dude showed up wearing Crocs.
Perfect. That makes total sense.
And I'm all about wearing Crocs hunting. I don't do it anymore, and I condone anybody who wants to. But I don't wear them anymore because I had a cornstalk go right through the front of my foot.
Oof.
before I got my cornstalk through my shoes. So I don't wear mine anymore, but I definitely, he showed up wearing Crocs. Luckily, somebody else had a pair of boots. So that's the field just outside of about 15, 20 minutes away. I'm not telling anybody where it's at. I don't need nobody
Yeah,
showing up.
I was gonna have to edit that out. So.
I'm not gonna give out the location, but yeah, no, it's set to be something good. The thing that we're battling with now, we've had snow, we've had a warm day, we might have a little snow tonight. It's gonna get cold again, so we're wondering about snow covers. We're wondering not about snow covers.
Yeah.
Concerned about what the field's gonna look like. There's a lot of things that we're going to be taking into account.
Kind of up
So
in the air. Yeah. Okay, so what's the outlook for next year? Boys, what do you feel like or why don't we do this? Do you think that you guys had a year that you are happy with, or do you wish that it went better? Or if you would have done something different, what would you guys have done? Addison, why don't you go first?
I'd say I was happy with the year. I feel like we had more hunts. I feel like we had less hunts, but the hunts we went on, we shot way more birds. Last year, we shot a decent amount, but not on many hunts. Like, we might have hunted, but we only shot 8 birds. But then there were some hunts we shot a limit, like Dad said, by 7 o'clock. But I feel like this year, we had less hunts, but since we scouted more, there was more. We shot way more birds.
More
obviously.
fruitful, yeah. It paid off more. Ainsley, how about you? Do you think you're happy with your year? I know you got a lot going on.
I feel happy with the year. I feel like
football and everything. So
yeah. Besides that, I feel like it was a good year. Like last year, we shot a crap ton of ducks and not many geese, and this year was like the total opposite. We shot a crap ton of geese and not a lot of ducks.
Tim?
Yeah, I feel like after the 7 band hunt, I had spoke with Brian, one of the other founding fathers. Where'd you go? One of the other founding fathers of our glorified hunt club that we have. And we had decided that after the 7 band hunt, we were all prepared and willing to say, this was an amazing year. If we don't hunt for the rest of the year, we're totally okay with that. That was a great way to close out the year potentially, if that's what it was. So I would say this year, like the boys said, last year we shot a lot more ducks. Some days we shot way more than other days.
Sure.
But this year it was less hunts, more limits spilled, and definitely 100% much more scouting.
Yeah. So do you anticipate, well, and I guess it's hard to say. I mean, I'm going to actually just look this up quick because I couldn't believe the number of, I'm going to just do migration numbers, Midwest Flyway average season. Let's see what this comes up with. I mean, I was going to say, do you really think that, like you'll have like as good of a year or, a better year or worse year or whatever? I
feel like, yeah, we can look at numbers and all of that, like, and say, oh, the numbers are up and the DNR and the wildlife, biologists. I know they're all doing their due diligence. And I get that those numbers are all relative to the general populations, just like small villages count towards general populations of states. But it's one of those things, like, in the end, it really does matter. It ultimately, though, those numbers mean something. But if we don't go out there and do our homework and checking these potholes and walking out there just to see what's out there, we ain't going to shoot no birds. And it's like I tell them, we might not shoot anything, but you sure as shit ain't going to shoot anything laying in bed.
Right.
So even if you go out there, you take your bag, you solo hunt it.
As some people were.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good night had, but it's one of those things.
It was not a good night.
It was not a good night. It just
So
said
yeah, so I mean,
like the numbers that I saw, and I know this is way under what I saw, but it says like on any given, there's like a Cornell University, Wisconsin alone can see more than 15 million birds move through the skies in a single night during peak migrations in spring and fall, which I heard numbers way significantly higher than that. And people initially, I think we even talked about it on the show that, people hear those numbers and they're like, there's no possible way. And I'm like, dude, look in the sky. There are
yeah,
so many
no doubt.
birds
Like
everywhere.
so many birds that you don't even have to see them and you can hear them.
Right.
It's
And
no different
oftentimes,
than
if it's
being in the
cloudy
woods and
skies or
hearing
whatever,
trees rustling their leaves. Same
right.
exact principle.
And it's not just, oh yeah, it's all waterfowl. It's not just, oh yeah, there's 15 million geese that fly over, there's 15 million ducks. But like you think about like the songbirds and like a lot of those other birds that will like move,
You always know, we
I mean,
always
we have
know the
all of
migration.
Canada above us.
Yeah, we always know the migration is kind of getting rolling because you'll hear somebody from the other side of the blind yell critter count because there's a flock of 250 blackbirds,
Sure.
that have banded up and that are swarming in big black cloud patterns, which are
Right.
super satisfying to watch, but that ultimately is that sign that the birds are starting to band up and starting to move south, or
Right.
actually, start moving in, significantly.
Um, okay, I got a couple more questions for you. All right, so newbie Eric shows up at duck camp. What's the first like three things you're going to tell him to just think about, um, be conscious of, or like pay most attention to when we start getting into the duck blind or the goose blind? Like what, like somebody new comes into camp, or like Addison's got a buddy that comes in and wants to do it, whatever. I mean, but you can even just use me as an example. But like,
Go ahead, I'll let you guys
what
answer
are
this.
you
I mean,
guys telling them first and foremost before anything else? Like, hey, these are the three things that we need to pay attention to. If you focus on nothing else besides this, do these three things.
go ahead, Danny. What do you think?
I don't know.
I think for me, like, I just tell everybody, like,
I'd say shooting zones.
yeah, like just the cautionary shooting zones, like being cautious of how far you can go this way, how far you can go that way, because even though that barrel's out
What your
there,
swing looks
there's
like.
a
Yeah.
lot of percussion coming from this area right here. And if he's right here and he's right here, and we're all shooting at the same time or at different times, that's going to be a lot of ringing, for
Right.
sure. So it's nothing out of the ordinary for us to kind of spread out when we're hunting. We might be from me to him away. If we're in the swamp, we might be 10 or 15 feet. He might be 20 or 30 yards farther down because he's realized, like, hey, there's more birds working that way. I don't know.
Sure.
I just feel like for me, like, be shooting zones. Don't be messing around with your safety off when we're just sitting here messing. Like not turning it off early, turning it on early, whatever it is, but just
Just
more
so many
so
shots fired.
being careful. Yeah, not even like just
No, I know.
like we got one dude who always is on that. Like, hey, is your safety on? And then you all of a sudden you hear click. Like, bro, you were just messing around and your
Right.
gun was off of safety. Like, just I'm not saying something could have happened, but let's not give it a chance.
You're closer there than
And
the other
plug,
way,
charger plugged it in.
I mean, there's
Yeah, for
always like
sure.
something.
I
Yeah.
tell everybody don't use your phone light. Have a headlamp. That's the one thing I
Sure.
tell people, bro. Don't show
Yeah.
up using your phone. It's one more thing you could be carrying to help me out.
Right.
Up there, there's black charger.
Yeah.
That and talking about precautions, like if we're hunting with the dog and the dog breaks.
And then what? What are you talking about?
Be aware of where the
Expand.
dog's at.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my when we went pheasant hunting, he's like, "All right, just I don't care how many birds you shoot, just don't shoot my dog." I'm like, "Bruh, I might not even shoot at all today, so we don't have to worry about it."
Yeah,
So,
I just feel like, yeah, that is something, and occasionally, like from his standpoint as a handler, typically when we get more than 6 guys, 5 or 6 guys,
Yeah.
I feel like he typically leaves the dog at home because then we have enough people to go and retrieve birds. And it's one more thing that, as a hunter and the safety of his own personal dog and pet,
Sure.
because it is a pet when it goes home, it doesn't go to a kennel. It has a kennel, but it doesn't go back to that kennel as a strict working dog,
Sure.
So
Yeah.
that's one thing I think, that people need to be cautious of is like, hey, we have the dog with us. Like, be careful because all of a sudden you got a bird that's wounded that's standing up and somebody's going to try to shoot.
Sure.
If that dog has already released, that bird, that dog is now potentially in range,
Right. Yeah. God, it's like so scary to me. But
Yeah.
whatever. Okay. One more question, and then we can like kind of work. I mean, it's amazing that we're at 57 minutes already, but all right. So, if you had to explain why waterfowl hunting matters to you, like not the birds, not the gear, like what, if you could give me your like best, um, like scripture or like your like words to live by or like whatever that would be, like what does waterfowl like truly mean to each one of you guys?
Okay. For me, I just feel like waterfowl hunting is something that I enjoy for a specific time of the year, but it literally is a year round thing. We will be watching ducks, we will be checking potholes, any water that we drive past. It literally is like a way of life. Like, we are
Hmm.
always thinking about what we're going to buy at Squad Fest, where we're going to hunt, when we're going to hunt, what's the bag limit going to be next year? Like, yo, Dad, come out here. Like,
Right.
look at, like, there's birds traveling north. Like, I just feel like we've so encompassed ourselves in it that if we didn't waterfall hunt, I literally don't know what we would do with our winters.
Right.
For real. Like, it just has turned from a hobby to a literal way of life.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Boys, can you add your 2 cents here?
I don't
Like, what
have
do you?
two
I mean, now
cents.
that you hear your dad say that, I don't know if you guys have thought of something, but
Nope.
no.
come on, you're killing me, Smalls. Well, I mean, what I would say is that, like, even just being such an amateur in it and just doing it for my first time, I mean, I think I had, I mean, the two, so we had like 3 total hunts out by you. And then, so I guess I've gone 5 times this year. 2 times out to our spot that we have out here. That's just super close, which is like so amazing just to be able to get out there and just be like 15 minutes from home. I mean, it's such a, like, I have so many cool pictures of just watching the sunrise over the water. And it's like, it's such a calming thing. I mean, yeah, there's a lot that goes into it because you got like all your gear and like make sure you don't fall in and make sure you XYZ, whatever it might be. But like once you're set and your spread is set and you've got everything out there, you can just sit there and just wait and just enjoy it. And
It's the best
yeah,
time
and
is
just sit there and just enjoy the sun kind of waking up with you um and just kind of enjoying that. I mean, it's so different than turkey hunting. It's so different than deer hunting,
yeah,
purely
definitely.
for the sense that you don't have to be quiet.
No, you don't. I mean, and the thing is like, yeah, it stings having to get up at 3:30 or early as can be
Right.
just to get out there. But for me, get out there, get yourself set, and then you can go back to bed. Part of me,
Yeah,
the
just take a quick
satisfaction is
nap or
hearing that
whatever.
boat coming up the river, knowing they're expecting to be at that spot. And
Right.
now you shine a flashlight because you've already got 2 cups of coffee gone. That's half the battle.
Right.
Like busting and knowing there's 2 more boats at some point before shooting time are going to be coming up the river. Looking to
Yeah.
get into somewhere close to here.
Yeah.
So Yeah, for me, I feel like for me the biggest satisfaction was uh just appreciating that golden hour of time, and the kids are always
Oh
like,
my God, it's just
but I
so
love the
awesome.
golden hour is my favorite time of the day. Whether I'm
Yeah.
at home, I'm in the swamp, wherever, just having that warm rays of sun just shining down is, I think, is one of the best things about being out of the swamp.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. And it's like, I mean, yeah, you can get some of that, but you can get some of that with deer hunting without a doubt. I mean, it's the most exciting time just purely for the fact that that's when wildlife is moving. Yeah, I mean, it's just so different when you see it over a body of water and you're getting the reflections and it's like super
Yeah.
calm and
Yep.
it's
Calm, and
whatever. I mean, it's
everything's
just
so
so
smooth.
cool.
It's like prevents, it projects that mirrored image almost.
Right. Yeah. Um, all right. What else you boys got to say? Anything else you want to say without talking trash about your uncle?
What do you got going tomorrow afternoon?
Well, I'm hoping that I'm awake by tomorrow afternoon, and I'll tell you
I
that
asked him, and he
much.
said he didn't want to see his wife or his stepkid. So
Wow, you're not even. Well, I'm gonna have to edit that out.
Yeah, that's definitely getting. Why would you even say that? Well, hey, we might have room if you want to come down. Bring your camera
Oh
equipment.
boy. Yeah, I mean, this is nice because it's like social distancing, but I'm kind of, my emotional battery is drained and I have
Yeah,
to,
fair enough. I feel you.
we're traveling next week. Well, I'm traveling next week and,
going to
heading down
Indianapolis.
to Indianapolis for 2 days to go to the Archery Trade Association, which is super cool. Something that Wags and I have wanted to do for a number of years now. So we're just hoping, fingers crossed, that weather is fine for getting there and getting back and whatever. Um, but it'll be another year of, I guess, doing some new stuff. I mean, apparently going to Squad Fest this year. So
Yes. Hey, we are. Yo, I'm telling you, we got man, we got quite the summer ahead of us. We got so many events going on. We have so many family events going on. We have so many social events going on. I think I just
I'm
locked
not
in the
doing
date.
80% of them next year.
Yeah, well, I can tell you right now, I got a lot of events going on, but I'm bound and determined. We both have goals set for the year. We've already discussed this, and I know you hit the goal that I'm trying to hit for next year, this year. So I'm trying to follow in your footsteps, and then we got Squad Fest, and I just got the date for an event in Chicago that I was super looking forward to.
Yeah.
We have Abby's Shower, which is going to be a big event here on the river. Squad Fest, then the wedding, then Thanksgiving festivities. So that'll be details to follow. But I mean, it's just, yeah, it's going to be a crazy year. And we're like I said, it's going to be a wild one. We got some things going on here, but I mean, we're slowly but surely working through it, and we're bound and determined that 26 is going to be crazy.
A good year. Yeah.
Crazy. With lots of new things on the horizon, new things to try, new things to get into. So it should be a good time
It'll be good. Now I got this brand new shotgun that I won, so I got to use it. So, I mean,
for
I killed
sure.
the deer and I killed the goose with it so far. So, I mean, we're on the we're
Right.
on the right track
Yep.
at least.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
um it feels good because it was like always something that I had wanted to get because I'm like, well, I mean, I probably should get into it, right? I mean, it'll be fun. It'll be something else to do. And I'm just like, bro, I have such an addictive personality that I'm like, bro, if I go once, I'm going 38 times this year.
Yes.
So
Hey,
it does not
that's what
really
it's all
work for
about,
me,
man.
but
You might as
um,
well. It's
yeah.
it's
So,
fun.
well, good.
It's fun.
Well, I'm glad that this worked out, and I know that we're like running a little longer than I had thought we would, but
No, all good.
um, if you guys wanna, I mean, if you want, you can plug your social medias or how people can find you, whatever. It's not like you have like a big like waterfowl page or whatever, but just if you want people to
No, we
reach out to
don't.
you,
I mean,
or
Yeah.
we don't, not yet, apparently. Maybe after this.
apparently, yeah. I mean, you guys should just like start a brand down there.
Yeah, well, like we thought about it. There's a lot of different things. We thought about naming it, starting maybe a YouTube channel, and then we were gonna buy a GoPro, and that didn't happen. But I mean, 26, you never know. I mean, it's a year of growth. It's going to be a year of change. I feel like though it's going to be a wild one for sure. Do you know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, and that's where it's nice because, as we're sitting here on New Year's Eve, it's always a time where you like look back on the year and like, wow, how did we all accomplish? Like we were watching like Good Morning America this morning and it's like, here's the top 5 news stories from this year. It's like, there was like one of them and we're like, that happened this year. So, oh yeah, the Blue Origin, like women, like celebrities going to space, that was still in this year. That feels like forever ago.
All right.
But it's like just that time where you kind of, like take a step back and think about everything that's happened this year and, like plan for what's to happen next year. And it's like next year I turn 40. So, of course, that's like apparently a big deal. And
apparently.
Whatever. Just trying to shoot 40 ducks next year. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to shoot 40 ducks next year.
I didn't shoot 40 ducks.
We didn't shoot 40
my
ducks
first goal
this
of
year.
2026.
We hardly shot 40 ducks this
I
year.
know. Yeah, I was going to say, I'll be very honest with you. We talked about this, and I said the biggest thing for us is I tell people like, you can come with us. Like I'm telling you right now, like I'm not telling you we're going to go out there, we're going to shoot a whole bunch of ducks, but I promise you, you're going to have fun. You're going to laugh your ass off, and we might shoot some ducks. But like this year with goose hunting, I can certifiably tell you, like, we're not going out there and coming home empty-handed. I promise you that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So
well, and I mean, it's not always just like shooting birds or it's not, I mean, there's so much more to it, which is just like, I mean, it's like our deer camp. It's like, hell, we don't even know if we're
going out there
see
and cracking open the thermos and drinking coffee, watching the sunrise.
Right.
For real.
Yeah. So, well, boys, I'm glad this finally worked out. I thought we were going to do it in person, but I mean, we had some minor catastrophes in our household over the weekend. So
minor after it's all settled. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Thankfully, she's doing all right. So, but yeah. So we. So I will send this to you guys. I will tag you guys in a bunch of stuff. But the nice thing with this new like video software is that we can repurpose a lot of it and just try and get the brand out there and do some different things with it. But yeah, if you guys have anything else, the floor is yours. What else you got to say?
Nothing crazy. I just want to say thanks for having us on. It's been a good time. I guess I got to plug it. We talked about it. Squad Fest. If you don't know what Squad Fest is about, just hashtag it and Google it. Shout out to our good friends down there in Missouri. Tolliver, Cody Yotes, all those guys. Like, we love Dive Bomb. Dive Bomb is one of the companies that we use. We use a lot of companies, but we just feel like Dive Bomb is where it's at. It's a minor company. It's a small company. They've made crazy amounts of growth in the last 5 years. They were one of the first ones that came out with, one-dimensional decoys with a 3D printed image on it. So very flat. You can haul a lot of them. We have the bag right here. You guys, we love them, for real. Check them out, see what they're about. We'll definitely, who knows, maybe they'll be a guest someday.
Hashtag brand ambassador, bro.
There we go. We're trying. Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to see if they would endorse me getting a tattoo of their logo, which is a little dive bomb dude with the little ducks on it. They said that they don't condone haste decisions, and if we chose to get it, that they would definitely retake the post, but they would not offer any monetary sustenance towards it. So I'm like, hey, that's fair enough. But yeah, it's
I was driving the other day and there's like these window clings, like like the dive bomb window clings. I mean, it's like very common. I saw this chick driving and on her back window, it looked like the dive bomb logo from a distance. And as I got closer, it turned into a cat, dude. I was like, what is
if you
this?
pull up to the blind saying you're wearing dive bomb and you're wearing some crazy cat lady outfit,
you
think clicking your safety off early warrants roasting, you're getting
I'm so
blasted.
mad I did not get a picture of that. I'm going to find it though and I'm going to send it to you guys because I was for sure going to try and send it to you, but whatever. So,
yeah.
All right. Addison, Ainsley, Tim, I appreciate you guys jumping on.
We
I
appreciate it.
think this
Thank
will
you.
probably go out on Friday, but I might get it up sooner. But otherwise, I'll just start, posting some of these clips. And yeah, so Wagner is like out. I mean, next week we'll be together because we're going to ATA together, and I don't know how we're going to do that, but the nice thing is now that we have our own podcast equipment, we can kind of do the show from wherever. So I'll probably bring it to Duck Camp next year,
Nice. That'd be
and that
sweet.
way we can just sit around the bonfire and just shoot the breeze that way. But
Maybe.
so next week episode might be delayed because we are going to be in Indianapolis, and another episode. I think this is episode 208 or 209 of Tailgate Talk. You can find us anywhere that you listen to podcasts: Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio app, Apple Music, maybe. But yeah, so for this, if you missed any of it, you can always go back and just check out the podcast. And I will tag all of your guys' information in the description of the show. So, for Wags, this has been Tasker. Thanks again, guys, and we will
Peace
talk
out.
to you next time.